Hello, everybody. My name is Martha Alter Hines, and this is Living the One Light. And in this video, I am being called and asked to speak about the full moon in Leo that we have coming up on January 25th, 2024. And once again, so many beautiful layers to drop into with this full moon. And when I first glanced at the chart of this full moon a couple of weeks ago, my energy body was so focused on the energies of our past few months that when I looked at this chart of this full moon, it was so different that I couldn't really engage with it yet. And then, of course, this morning I was in my praying and it came alive. The chart just suddenly, it was very clear from the spirit world what's alive in this chart. And it is a very, very different energy from the energies of the recent lunations that we've been having. And, especially like the new moon we just had in Capricorn is a very, very different energy from this full moon in Leo. And partly that's because the energies of the cosmos are shifting very fast right now. Right now. So I'm recording this on Tuesday, January 16th, 2024. And in just 4 days, we have Pluto entering Aquarius. And so I talked about this Pluto entering Aquarius in quite a bit of detail in my new moon video on that new moon, when I was talking about the new moon in Capricorn that we just had. But in a nutshell, this is the second time that we're going to be having Pluto entering Aquarius out of a total of 3 times. So in November of 2024, Pluto will finally fully move into Aquarius and will be in Aquarius for the next 20 years until 2024. 2044. But between January 20th of 2024 and September 1st of 2024, we will have Pluto in Aquarius for this period of several months. So when Pluto went into Aquarius, dipped into Aquarius just briefly in 2023, that was just for a couple of months. And so now we're getting a longer time with Pluto in Aquarius. And then Pluto will dip very briefly back into Capricorn from September 1st of 2024 until I think it's maybe November 20th of 2024 when it will fully, move in to Aquarius. And again, if you want to hear more of my sense of that back and forth dance, go to the new moon video where I really go into it and give an analogy of us swimming in a lake, and this being our second time, where maybe the first time we sort of waded in maybe up to our knees or something, and then the second time we're going to really fully submerge and feel what that's like, the Pluto in Aquarius. What is that really like? But we're not going to fully, swim across the lake yet, or swim through the whole lake or whatever it is, until the end of this year, November of 2024. And for the next 20 years, then we're really, really submerged in that whole lake of Aquarius with Pluto in Aquarius. Okay. So that's part of the context leading up to this full moon in Leo, is that, again, Pluto is entering Aquarius on January 20th. So 4 days from now, from when I'm recording this video. The full moon itself is on January 25th. And then on January 26th, Uranus, which rules Aquarius, Pluto entering Aquarius, is going to go direct. So it's a really, really powerful dynamic set of energies happening right at a huge amount of shifting energy as we're in the time of this full moon. So it makes sense that the energies of this full moon felt so different to me, because they are. Because they are. Okay. And there's, lots more going on astrologically. Let me just show you the chart briefly to for those of you who want to know the sort of astrological facts, and then I'll drop more deeply into the themes that are alive. But just to give you the gist of the theme that the spirit world is really wanting me to speak to is Leo energy being about creation and life force, creative life force. So there's a way that the astrological energies of this full moon and of this time are really supporting us in a particular way, and I would say even giving us sort of signposts of what is the ultimate meaning of life force creation. What does it mean to create or to be a creator of the divine in general? And so there are certain things they're wanting me to speak to, and we'll see if they want me to channel. Well, anyway, first let me go to the chart. But yeah, the overall theme is really about creation being a co-creative endeavor, a co-creative experience between ourselves, the earth, the divine, the cosmos, the all that is, right? Okay, we'll get more into that in a second. So first, the chart. Okay, here is the chart of the full moon. So you can see the full moon itself, the moon will be at 5 degrees, 14 minutes of Leo. And this full moon will be exact in the morning of January 25th here on the west coast of the Americas. I'm in California. And the moon, the sun will be at, of course, 5 degrees, 14 minutes of Aquarius, very near Pluto, which will have just entered Aquarius. And if you remember, the new moon we just had in Capricorn happened, when Pluto was still in Capricorn, but at the 29th degree of Capricorn, with that new moon in a wide conjunction, but definitely a conjunction to Pluto. And that new moon was exactly squaring the nodes of the moon. So Pluto is playing into these energies really, really powerfully and really strongly right now. But here, Pluto has moved into Aquarius, so it's a really different quality to that Plutonian energy. It's, it's no longer in that very, 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 very last degree of Capricorn anymore. It's now suddenly in the first degree of Aquarius. So different, really different energetic. The other thing sitting there with the sun on the other side of the sun is Cheriklo. And Cheriklo, just in a brief way, if you don't know much about Cheriklo, there's a wonderful conversation between Heather Ensworth and Melanie Reinhart about Cheriklo, and I absolutely recommend that video. I will link it with this video. But Cheriklo energy is the way I think of her is she's the wife of Chiron, and she's that energy of, I think of her as golden healing light presence. So she's the energetic that I typically feel when, let's say, I'm with clients, for example, or I'm holding space for a healing session, or if you have clients or you do Reiki, or even if you're just sitting with somebody you really love and you're just listening, you're not really trying to fix it, you're just trying to be there. That's Cheriklo energy. So Cheriklo is a really, really beautiful, incredibly powerful, very healing presence to be having there with the sun and Pluto. And yeah, the sun's sitting right in between Pluto and Cheriklo. Really interesting energy. So and then another really significant thing happening in this full moon is that Jupiter, which went direct on December 30th at 5 degrees of Taurus, is still, not moving super fast quite yet because it just went direct. So, but it is going to be almost exactly squaring the moon and the sun. on this full moon. So it'll be basically making a T-square between the sun and the moon. And Jupiter is in Taurus, and so it's bringing in that, dropping us into that Taurus Earth energy. And like I said before, the day after the full moon, Uranus, also in Taurus, is going to be going direct. So this Taurus energy is really, really, really powerfully strong in the time of this full moon and with this full moon. And to say another thing is that the Ceres, who is Earth Mother, will be on the galactic center at the time of this full moon. So another sort of very earthy energy, bringing us back both to ourselves as Earth, but also to ourselves as the cosmos of the divine. The galactic center is, the center of our galaxy. It's the center our galaxy rotates around. So to have anything conjunct the galactic center is really, really powerful. For me, it feels like it just taps us straight into the heart of the divine itself, where we come from, like our ultimate home. And so to have Ceres on the galactic center is like an energy of that ultimate divine, great Earth Mother being, just pouring that energy, sort of similar, different, but similar to having Cheroklo conjunct the sun. It's, these two really powerful divine feminine presences holding this space with us, for us. Yeah, really beautiful. And then also to note, Venus, by the time of this full moon, Venus, Mercury, and Mars will all be in Capricorn. So Capricorn, again, another earth sign, very earthy, lots and lots of reminders of earth and ourselves as earth in this time. And also Chiron is moving toward its conjunction, or the North Node and Chiron are moving toward their conjunction, which will be happening at the end of February. So, we've got a little ways to go for that, but that energetic is still there. And that energy definitely for me is, number one, very healing, but also bringing us to our bodies. Chiron is an energy of so many things, so many things. But Chiron is a centaur, so half horse, half human. And I feel the centaurs is really grounding, like really reminding us of our earth bodies, the reality that we are animals, we are beings of this planet. And then another thing, again, with a similar theme, is the fact that this moon at 5 degrees of Leo is going to be in conjunct to Saturn, which is at 5 degrees of Pisces at the time of this full moon. And Saturn and Hygeia are having a conjunction. So actually at the time of this recording, Hygeia is a little bit more closely exactly conjunct Saturn. But at the time of this full moon, still Hygeia and Saturn will be, still conjunct. And so again, Saturn, which rules Capricorn and actually traditionally rules Aquarius, is very much, reminding us of ourselves as Earth and the need for structure that supports us here on the planet. It happens to be in Pisces, which also helps us bridge the ether and the earth, but it's still definitely saying to us, yeah, we need to be holding this in a way that is both light, Pisces, yet giving structure that's truly supportive to us. And Hygeia conjunct Saturn. Hygeia is the goddess of healing and health and hygiene and preventative health. And so something I've been feeling in my own life, and I've just been observing this Hygeia coming to conjunct Saturn, because my own Mercury is at 5 degrees of Pisces. So this conjunction is happening right on my Mercury. And I've been just curious, what would that feel like in my own life? And what I'm noticing in my own world, in my own life, is a sense of just getting really, really clear on what daily practices, this is very much Hygeia, daily practices does my body need? So I often think of Hygeia as really a reminder to us of our own body wisdom. So again, it's yet another theme in this chart of bringing us back to the reality that we have bodies, that our bodies are of the earth, and there's a need, Saturn conjunct Hygeia, for us to take responsibility, self-responsibility, Saturn, to really listen to our own bodies, our own beings, and know what is it that I need to do to be here to support myself as this being of earth that I am, that speaks through my body, right? Like, we have minds that maybe know certain things, but our body wisdom, typically, as we know through lots of research and our own knowing of ourselves, often our body actually knows much more than our mind does about what we need. And Hygeia often is an energetic I see come up in people's charts when it's like sort of like she's like knocking, like, hello, listen up, your body's trying to talk. So that energy is really, really present in this chart. Okay, so I think those are all of the astrological facts that I feel called to speak to. I mean, there's so much more, and anyway, that was a lot. So I'm gonna pause there with that and come back here. Okay, so now to come to, what does this mean? How do I put this all together? What is the spirit world really wanting me to say? Okay, so Leo. So what the spirit world is really ultimately the point that they're wanting me to make, and then I'll go more layer by layer with it. The real point they're wanting me to make is Leo energy is about us manifesting ourselves as the unique being of the divine that we are, and bringing forward into the world, shining with our own creative life force in whatever way we are meant to, whatever that happens to be. Each of us is different. And so there is a tendency, I think, for a lot of us in this day and age to think that when we are meant to create something or do something in the world, we typically default to thinking that we need to come up with it from our mind. And so what the spirit world is trying to say is that this full moon, this time, as we're having Pluto moving into Aquarius, we have this big shift of energies. We've just been doing a lot of letting go, maybe, of old structures and old ways. And now we have an opportunity to create. I mean, that's so exciting and so amazing, actually, right? That we've been letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. And now this energy is like, well, okay, so we've been letting go. Now what? Like, let's do it. Let's create something. Well, how do we do that? And there's no right or wrong answer, and I'm certainly not trying to give you the answer for you, because only you know. And something that feels really important to convey is what they're trying to say is, it's not about you creating from your mind. Oh, maybe sometimes that's exactly what you're meant to do. But typically for most of us, it's a co-creative endeavor, a co-creative experience between Earth. So you notice in that chart, so much holding us to remember ourselves as Earth, so much, and remember ourselves as bodies, as Earth being bodies, and to take care of ourselves. So when this creative life force energy wants to emerge from us, ideally it's going to be given a chance in these earth forms to be nurtured, so that our earth body can be held and nurtured. We can get those daily things met, the Hygeia conjunct Saturn, Jupiter and Uranus moving direct and moving actually toward their conjunction in Taurus. On and on and on, all those Capricorn energies there. So much energy reminding us to come back to earth, literally come back to earth, so that when we're creating, it is coming from ourselves as the divine. Certainly it's coming from ourselves as source, that Ceres energy on the galactic center, among other things, Saturn in Pisces. And it's held as ourselves as earth. So we are getting our needs met. And that's helping to fuel us. So I want to bring this to a little bit of a personal story that I hope will help illustrate this, because anyway, I'm being told to share it, so I'm going to share it. So recently, I have 2 kids, and I'm a single mom, and so I'm obviously been very busy for many years, and I've been cleaning out my whole house, probably more than I have done since I moved into this house, which was 9.5 years ago. So, so I've been going through all these old papers, and the other day, yesterday, last night, I came across an old journal, and I opened it up, and I saw this page, and there was a message in it that I had written in August of 2012. So I have, my younger child, it was born in March of 2012. And so this is when she was a little baby, and she's about to turn 12. And so clearly this is a long time ago. And I mean, relatively somewhat long time ago. A lot has transpired since then. And I mean, really a lot, really a lot has transpired since then. So, but this was a message. I'll read you the beginning of it. This was a message that I guess I had written from the spirit world to me. And I wrote this before I'd ever channeled. I started channeling in 2018. I mean, I had a very, very, very powerful, strong relationship with the spirit world since, at least consciously, since I was about 21. So I'm 46, about to turn 47. So, a long time. I've had that for a long time. But I hadn't ever channeled before. But clearly, I guess I was sort of channeling, because I would call this channeled. I just didn't, it was a different version of channeling. Anyway, I'm going to read you what it says, because I think I'll explain why in a second. Okay. I'll read you the beginning of it. This is obviously talking to me, but okay. You are meant to be here to become a teacher, a leader of the angelic realm. Okay. And I want to preface this by saying that when I wrote this, I was working as a therapist for a nonprofit here in town. And I had just left my marriage, actually, just a few months while I was pregnant with my younger child. And so I had a 5-year-old and a baby. And I was working full-time as a therapist at this nonprofit, but as you probably know, nonprofits don't pay very much. So I was I was in a really difficult moment in my life when, despite, having this job that was extremely well respected and really needed, I was a therapist working in the child welfare system, and, I was an expert witness on the stand and writing reports for the court, on and on. But I wasn't getting paid nearly enough to support myself and 2 kids. So it was a really scary time in a lot of ways. And I could feel it, that my life was eventually going to go in some other direction. Like I was meant to do more in some way, but I had no idea what that meant. And it was actually a couple months after this that I changed jobs to work for, still in social work, to work for our county directly in the child welfare system. And I worked in that job for 6 years. And it wasn't until 2019 when I finally left social work and began doing what I'm doing now, right? So it was 7 years after I wrote this when I embarked on what I'm doing now. So when you hear this, just know that I had zero clue. I mean, absolutely no clue whatsoever. I could never have imagined what it is I'm doing now, ever. It never crossed my mind. But you'll see when I read this to you how interesting this is, okay? So again, this is August 2012. You are meant to be here to become a teacher, a leader of the angelic realm. I was a social worker. I was a therapist at this time. We want you to sit and learn and teach and become completely open to us and to our teachings, and you will share these teachings with the whole world. Here I am 11 years later on YouTube doing that. Okay. You will help others to manifest their highest, most true destiny. You will help others to remember us and themselves, and there will be a whole grown community of open souls, people who are living completely as their divine selves. Here you are. And this will change the planet. There will be a ripple effect, and more souls will be awakened, and more light will shine through. And we want you to call on us. We are here always in our highest form. We are here to be called upon to manifest what you need to achieve our goals and your highest good and highest destiny. The flow is coming. The souls will find you. Here you are. Keep putting your message out there. I had no idea what message at that time, you know, I really can't even remember what I thought writing this, but I definitely didn't know what that meant. Spread your message and get out the word that you exist and are here to help. You are here to help people open completely to their highest good and their destinies. And your hands will flow like a fluid of gold and you will heal so many. Okay. All right. You get the idea. So again, I had no clue. I mean, truly, I never, ever would have imagined, you know, having a YouTube channel. I don't even think I didn't even watch YouTube 11 years ago, much less think about having a YouTube channel, much less think about being an astrologer, much less think any of these things. Okay. So what's my point? My point is that message to me is it so perfectly illustrates what the spirit world is telling me about the energies of this full moon. I mean, it's like so what that message was saying to me basically was, Martha, we're going to need you to co-create with us. We're going to need you to be out in the world and willing to shine in a way that, you know, maybe you can't even imagine. We're going to need you to be healthy Leo energy. And I personally have Saturn in Leo. So any place you have Saturn often can be a place that takes a while to mature, like to mature into it. Often if you have Saturn in a particular place, you might feel like you need to go slowly with that, or like there can be just a lot of different layers of dynamics with it. But in my case, I would say, you know, I love to be in a leadership position. It's very natural to me. I also have my South Node in Aries. I have my Venus in Aries on my South Node. So it's not that I shy away from being in a leadership position. It's really how I'm built. But the idea of being in the spotlight, like being on the stage like this, or, you know, in various ways, I both love to do it, and I'm a little bit careful about it. Like, I feel like I need to do it in a very somewhat cautious and conscious way. That's Saturn, right? So, but then the thing about Saturn energy is that then once you do start to become comfortable with whatever that energy is, you can be really, really solid, and it can become your work, literally. Here we are. And yeah, so I would say that what this message was basically asking me to do was to have my work be about helping others to be in healthy Leo energy also. And I'll say a little bit more about what healthy Leo energy is. But the other point I want to make about this message that's relevant to this full moon is that, again, I could never have known or planned with my mind how this would manifest. Like the reality of that vision is here. And I would say even now in my life, I would consider what I'm doing right now about 10% of what I think I'm ultimately being asked to do. And I can't really picture the future version of whatever I'm meant to be doing. But here I am for sure living out this vision in a certain form, 11 and a half years later, and it's growing and growing and growing more and more. But it did not come from my brain. Absolutely not. And every single day I'm asked again to come deeply into myself, to connect with the divine. But more and more, what I'm being asked to do in my own way of holding space in the world and co-creating with the divine is also to be in concert with the earth and in concert with the cosmos, and to allow it to be an organic unfolding, an organic blossoming. Yeah, there's so much more there. So much more there. If you have questions or you want me to share more another time, I'm happy to, but I'll leave that part for there, right now. And I'll say a little more about Leo. Okay. So yeah, I feel like there's probably a thread in that I want to come back to also, but just to drop in a little bit to Leo, because this is really, really key and important to this, talking about this full moon, because it's in Leo. Okay. So Leo energy sometimes gets a very bad reputation in a certain sense, because Leo, just like anything else, can be out of balance. And Leo out of balance often is a kind of narcissistic, I'm the center of everything energy. I mean, we have examples of that in the world. Certain people with very powerful, very strong Leo energy demonstrate that. And it can be very childlike, very immature, a kind of a narcissism. But that's Leo out of balance. Leo in balance and healthy is amazing. I love it. And again, I have my Saturn in Leo, right? So it's taken me a while, and even I can feel it even in myself right now, that there's a certain element where I don't really want to fully claim it. And there's different reasons and different layers of why. But when I let myself relax into it and really go there, it's so fun. Okay, number one, it's really fun. Leo is fun energy. It can be really playful. And there's no rules. It's just like, it's like having paint and just being able to throw it around and just see what it wants to do and enjoy it, right? So, okay, so really healthy Leo energy, this is how I think of it. It's like if we are each, I was explaining this to one of you this morning, so I'll just repeat myself here. If we are each flowers, which we are, then if you imagine yourself in a field of beautiful wildflowers, and you're one of those beautiful wildflowers, which again, we all are. So we are all literally manifestations of the divine. It's just the truth. It's a fact. Okay. And healthy Leo energy. Leo is ruled by the sun. So I think of, let's take any one of us being in this field of flowers, and we are this particular flower, and the sun is in this relationship with us, just like the divine. I think of the sun as very much like a mirror of, or a microcosm of source itself. And so imagine yourself as this flower, and the sun comes to you and says, hi, Martha, or you, you're beautiful and perfect, and you are this gorgeous manifestation of the divine, of me, of the earth, and me as you, right? All as one. Let me help you open up fully so you can fully bloom into who you are. And so the sunlight, infuses the petals, and the petals just naturally unfold. So number one, in that, if you imagine that and feel that in your own being, in your own body, you might notice certain things. Like what I notice in that is there's no effort. That unfolding of the petals is just, it's effortless. It's just natural. It just is who the flower is. And it's beautiful, right? It's like magic and like poetry, or like painting. It's just, wow. Like it's a miracle. It's a true miracle. How does a flower know how to bloom? How does a flower exist? How does a flower even have petals, right? All of it. So beautiful. And like the intricacy of the veins in the each petal is just, every layer is literally miraculous. So beautiful. And so yeah, so this healthy Leo energy is the sun in concert with the being of that flower, just relaxing, and the sunlight helping the petals to know how and when to open and just become what this flower is. Super beautiful. And then the other part of Leo energy that's also really key, and that actually brings in the polarity to Leo, which is Aquarius, is that it's not just this one lone flower. It's like the sun doesn't only have this relationship with one flower, clearly, right? It has that same kind of relationship with everything, with all of life, the whole earth, many planets. I mean, anyway, it has, sun has a relationship to everything else in existence. But if you just take this field of flowers, the sun has the same relationship with all those flowers. So the Leo energy, the healthy Leo energy, is not about just only being the sun, the one flower that opens. It's actually also about the celebration of the whole field of flowers, every single one as an individual, and more of that Aquarian energy, also the whole field. But the Leo energy, the healthy Leo, includes not only shining as me, I mean, it does include shining as me, and not shying away from shining as me, fully being who I am, and letting that spark all the other flowers too, or holding space for, witnessing, beholding the beauty of the unfolding of all of the flowers, right? So actually very much so related to what I do in my own work, and the ultimate calling of what I mean, you hear that in that message that I channeled 11 and a half years ago, is that really what I'm being asked to do, and I think a lot of us are being asked to do, is to be fully present and willing to shine completely as who I am. But then the point isn't about me. The point is that I'm here holding space for you, for all of us to be coming fully into who we are. Because that field of flowers is the most magnificent and beautiful when all of the flowers are able to be themselves, whatever it happens to be. And to say that healthy Leo energy isn't about constantly being on stage and constantly shining. I mean, the flower does have a natural ebb and flow of coming back into the bud, opening into the blooming, coming back into the bud, right? I personally am an extreme introvert and I need a lot of space to myself. I need time to come back into myself, but then to have the freedom and the confidence and the ability and the support and the nourishing to open fully so that I can be myself, so that whatever is meant to come through me is here for you. And then I can also retreat and have time to myself, and then I can come back and be with you, and and again, hold space for you to be doing the similar thing in your own way. So I hope that helps explain healthy Leo. Yeah. And just to close it out, so the real point that the spirit world is wanting me to make about this full moon energy and the Leo energy as we're entering our time with Pluto and Aquarius is, again, that this is a really exciting, fun time when we do suddenly have the ability, we're being held on so many levels to be co-creating, to be coming into this new world, whatever that happens to mean for us. We've been, again, letting go, and there is still an energy of that letting go, and we will still have Pluto in Capricorn for a couple of months later this year. And it's not that, I don't feel like it's responsible to say that there's an immediate, we're done with karmic everything and then we're going to move on. I don't feel like that's responsible for me to say at all. And at the same time, I am personally feeling, and I do feel this potential just in general in the world, for us to be coming into a time where we are much, much, much more free of our past conditioning, much more free of past structures and ways of being. And now is the time to have fun and just be with Earth, be with cosmos, be with the divine, be with our own being, our own self, and let it arise. Let this naturally, organically arise as a co-creation of Earth, cosmos, the divine, ourselves, each other, community, and our unique selves too. Like again, I'm going to say that, just reiterate, for me, it's definitely an important dance for me to have very significant time to myself, and then clearly also hold space for and be part of community, and in relationship with other people. I mean, all of it is really, really important. And I say that from personal needs, personal experience too. Yeah, that it's a fun and exciting time. All right. I think that's everything I feel called to say about this full moon. Also in this coming time, I have my two big things that I'm holding in 2024 are starting, which is amazing timing. Awesome. So yeah, I love it. So the first one is starting this Friday, January 19th, and that is the Ultimate Divine Blueprint Awakening Journey. So I've spoken about both of these offerings in lots of other videos, so I won't go into them in depth here. Definitely see previous videos where I talk. So actually, the perfect video to watch if you're wanting to hear more about these is the video I just put out last week on the Ultimate Divine Blueprint of, I can't remember exactly what I call it, but the Ultimate Divine Blueprint of ourselves, astrology, and life itself. I think that's what I called it. I will link that video here also. And in that video, I talk about how, again, similar to what I'm talking about in this video, we have this incredibly beautiful opportunity right now to be coming into and co-creating from this ultimate divine blueprint that is what the divine is calling us into right now, right this minute, whatever that happens to be. And so the ultimate divine blueprint awakening journey, which is starting on January 19th, is really about, I will be channeling and holding space for you to be coming into your own energetic divine blueprint being on the energy body level, over the whole 12 months of 2024. And yeah, the energies of this year are just off the chart in terms of holding space for us to be coming into that ultimate divine blueprint on that energy body level. And then, also super exciting, actually on the day, well, okay, so the other big thing I'm holding this year is the Infinite Soul Wisdom Astrology 101 course. And that starts officially on February 1st. So again, in lots of other videos, I've talked a lot about that course. It's really meant to be a portal of remembering. So it's actually, I would say the best way to sum it up is that it's perfect for absolute beginners to astrology. It's also perfect for full-fledged practicing astrologers. It's for anybody of any level of experience of astrology who's wanting to be held in a space to co-remember the ultimate divine blueprint of the cosmos and of astrology and of our relationship to astrology, from the ground up. And yeah, I'm really, really excited about that. I think it's going to be unlike any other astrology course, certainly that I know of out there. There are 4 amazing guest speakers, and those are Heather Ensworth, Julia Balaz, Kelley Hunter, and Chris Skidmore. And so there's lots more information you can see about that. But actually, 1 week before that course officially starts, on January 25th, on the day of this full moon, interestingly, I am going to be holding a workshop that you're welcome to join. It's included for free. For those of you who have already signed up for the astrology course, you are already signed up for this workshop and it's included for free. You don't need to sign up again. But for those of you who maybe are possibly interested in the course, or you're not interested in the course, but you might want to attend this workshop, you're very welcome to join this workshop as well. It is called The Anatomy and Soul of the Cosmos. And I'm really excited about this. It's a workshop I haven't seen anybody else hold in this way. So what I'm going to be doing is it's going to be a 2-hour workshop, and the majority of the time I will go through the astronomy and the basics of the astrology of the different components of our cosmos. So I'll be going through, not in detail of every single planet, but that's the point of the whole, the whole course of the Astrology 101 course. But what I'll be doing is going through the different parts of the anatomy of the cosmos. So the inner planets, the outer planets, the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, the centaurs, the Kuiper belt, the Oort cloud, and then the 4 main galactic points. So I'll be talking about what they are, like what is a centaur, what is the Oort cloud. I'll be the astronomy, the science of what each of those components of our cosmos are, and then I will talk about my thoughts about how each of those parts of our cosmos have a different role in astrology, or how I tend to think of them. But then the really key component for me is then the last part of our time together, I will actually channel a guided experience for you to, in a sense, journey through the cosmos and feel for yourself what is speaking to you. What do you feel is the role of the inner planets, the outer planets, the centaurs, the asteroid belt, the Kuiper belt, the Oort cloud, and those 4 galactic points? And then, it's all going to be recorded. And so you clearly can come back to the workshop itself, but also the channeled part. And over time, I don't feel like this is the kind of thing we come to one answer immediately. I feel like it's for me, certainly an ongoing discovery. And so even when I talk about my own thoughts about the astrology of, the purpose of the asteroid belt, or the role the asteroid belt maybe plays for us, it's a maybe. It's a me saying, okay, in this exact moment, January 25th, 2024, 10 a.m. Pacific, here's in this moment, my thoughts. But part of the way that I'm really feeling called into holding space for the learning of astrology and the practice of astrology and our relationship to the cosmos in general, again, is to be holding it very, very lightly, so that we can allow ourselves to be coming into our own ultimate divine blueprint, right? The energy body that is unfolding and emerging now, but also to be holding the cosmos really lightly and our relationship to the cosmos really lightly, so that it can emerge and be what it is. And so we can have an ongoing dialogue, an ongoing relationship that is dynamic and gives everything room and space to grow. So that I feel really, really uncomfortable, for example, especially with the cosmic beings that we don't know as well, that humans haven't even known about, at least in this culture, for very long, such as the Kuiper Belt, even the centaurs, certainly the Oort cloud, and even the galactic points. Those in particular, I feel like, but all of the planets, all of everything, I feel like it's just like we are evolving, we need to give space for everything to be evolving, and for us to be evolving in relationship more than anything to everything. So I get really uncomfortable when anybody says, oh, for sure, XYZ Kuiper Belt object, absolutely means blank. I don't feel like that's an integrity. I don't personally feel right doing that. So I won't be doing that. I won't be saying absolutely for sure the asteroid belt has this role. No. You won't get that from me. What you'll get from me is, here's what the asteroid belt is. Here's where it is in space. Here's, like the astronomical scientific facts that I know about it. And here's my feeling when I've been working with asteroids. Here's how I tend currently to think of them. But now let's drop in and feel, what does it feel like for you when we actually move through the cosmos and, imagine or get taken to, in this channeled way, to the asteroid belt itself, or to the Kuiper belt itself, or to the centaurs, Chiron and Cheroklo, and to Sedna, or whatever, anyway, you get the idea, I think. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that workshop. Again, that's January 25th, on the day of this full moon. If you happen to be listening to this recording after that day, the workshop will be live on that day, but also recorded and available indefinitely. It's obviously relevant anytime. It's a very not time-specific workshop. So you're welcome to join that anytime you like. And again, it's included for free with the astrology course. And actually, if you sign up for the workshop and then you decide you want to join the full astrology course, part of the workshop, essentially, I give you a discount. The price of the workshop becomes zero, because if you join the astrology course, I just give you a discount of the amount you paid for the workshop. That makes sense. So in other words, point being, if you decide to join the astrology course, you don't end up paying for the workshop, but you're welcome to join the workshop, whether or not you're part of the astrology course. I would love to have you there. And the links and everything are here with the video. If you are interested in possibly being part of the astrology course, but you have questions or you're not sure about it, I'm more than happy to meet with you, to discuss it, feel if it is the right thing for you. And with the divine the divine blueprint awakening journey, also please reach out if you have questions about it, or if you're not sure if it's the right fit for you. And for some people, you're feeling called to just do one or just do the other. For some people have already signed up for both. I think, it's very personal. You'll know in your being, in your body, what combination or one or both is right for you, or neither, or whatever it is. So I really, really honor whatever is just right for you. And again, happy to help you feel into what is just right for you. Okay, I think that's everything for this moment. Really happy to connect with you, and yeah, excited. And okay, I'm going to tell you one more thing because it's here and wants to be said. So I was going to say what I feel excited about, and then I realized I haven't explained this feeling, this image I'm getting. So just to give you another example of the point of what the spirit world is wanting me to say about this full moon, but also it illustrates how I'm moving forward with what I'm holding in the next year. So I've been getting shown this image essentially of this time being like a canopy. So months ago, when I was told to hold this astrology course, I was shown the whole astrology course being held by a canopy of the divine, of very powerful, benevolent beings. And long story short, what the spirit world is showing me now is that now is the time where I and we, those of us being called to be under this canopy, I'm now under this canopy, and it's now time. The canopy is here. And what I'm also feeling in this canopy, so it's like, it feels like a mixture of both a canopy of a really beautiful, rich forest, and also, interestingly, a mushroom. I don't understand the mushroom part, but I don't, if you have thoughts about the mushroom, let me know. That it's sort of funny to me, but it truly, definitely is. It's a forest and it's a mushroom. I don't know what that's about, but the point is that it's feeling so good because what I'm feeling in that is what the spirit world is telling me is we've got this. We're holding this space. So the ultimate divine blueprint journey, awakening journey, the astrology course, my membership, the one-on-one course, the one-on-one sessions I do with you, and all of what I'm doing, these YouTube videos, all of it is being held, is under the canopy of this mushroom umbrella forest. But it feels so relaxed. It feels very Taurus, actually. And my own progressed sun, for any of you who know what that means, just entered Taurus a year ago. And so anyway, I have my own Jupiter return coming in Taurus. I have a lot of Taurus energy being activated right now. But it just feels like what they're basically saying to me is, we've got this. Just let us hold you. Let us hold this. And let the earth, so I feel these layers. It's like, so there's this canopy above us holding this whole space for all of us, all of you watching these videos, any of you who feel, all of you who feel called to be part of these offerings I'm doing, we're all being held under this canopy. And then the earth itself, and what they're saying to me is, just let it rise. Just let the earth do its thing. So all of what I'm actually being called to do is so actually perfectly in line with what I've been saying about this whole full moon energy, which is so fascinating, given that the timing of the full moon is when I'm starting these things. Anyway, interesting. Right, but I think it's relevant for all of us, is the sense of we're being called into a new way, but part of the new way is relaxing and letting the earth itself hold us, move with us. And another super important component, maybe I'll speak to this more in the new moon video that I'll make for the new moon in Aquarius. Aquarius also has a lot to do with our nervous system, and Uranus going direct has a lot to do with our nervous system. So that what I'm feeling in this is Taurus energy, the earth energy, is also so much about letting our nervous systems relax and let go. So again, I'll speak more about this in another video, because this video is getting really long, but there's this component as we are moving into this Pluto in Aquarius time, all these Aquarian energies, Uranus going direct, that's being balanced by this Taurus energy, by all these earth energies. And part of that, the gift in that is this opportunity for us to relax and let our nervous systems, our energy body, be held in a way that maybe it hasn't in this lifetime, or in many years, or maybe in many lifetimes. Yeah, because with all of the, the trauma and the stress and the intensity of this time of life, probably many of us have pretty nervous systems that have gotten very, very compromised in a certain way, or like destabilized in a certain way. So again, we're being held, like the spirit world saying to me, just let this canopy hold you, let the earth rise to meet you. Just may the wind, this is reminding me of what the Irish prayer blessing, may the wind be at your back. That's what, suddenly it's sounding very much like that. Yeah, but it feels so good. And it feels very, very, very much like what we're being called into, and the opportunity we're being given is, this is a time of co-creation, and yet it's not about us us doing it on our own. It's about the earth is here, the cosmos is here, the divine is here. We each are here. We're all here. We're all doing this together ultimately. And so this can be a time when we're really deeply held, deeply nourished, and our literally, if our nervous system feels frayed in any way, or out of balance, or out of whack, this can be a time when we really get held to let that come back together and repair itself, come back to that wholeness again. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Now that feels complete. All right. I would love to hear from you. If you're enjoying this video, I would love for you to click like. It helps me to know what you like. I'd love to hear your comments. Again, it helps me to know, what's feeling good for you, what to do more of, what to do less of. And if you're called to join me for any of those offerings, I would love to have you there. Be in touch anytime at livingtheonelight@gmail.com. I'm happy to answer your questions. And yeah, happy almost Pluto moving into Aquarius, and almost full moon. See you soon.